Greetings and welcome to the Tuesday Morning Vodkast podcast. Hit the music, DJ. Not that, no, not that song. No. All right. DJ, hit that song. God damn it, DJ. Yeah, my DJ's name is DJ. You got one more shot at this and then you're fucking fired. Greetings and welcome to the Tuesday Morning Vodkast podcast. Hit the music, DJ. Hey, all you Billy Bumblers, it's so hard to find good help around here. Well, that's all I've got for you. Thank you guys for stopping by, checking us out. If you guys are loving watching these as much... No, I'm just fucking with you. Honestly, I don't know what to talk about this morning. I said I can't go another day without doing another Vodkast podcast. They're a lot of fun. I enjoy doing them. My time has been very consumed by High from Space, the secret podcast. I don't know why I did that. Anywho, it's been taking up all my time, and I'm excited to work on it. It's not like I'm like, oh, I gotta go to work. Like, I enjoy working on it, but it takes a lot more time than editing down, an episode of the Vodkast podcast, because we roll maybe 15 minutes, and I whittle it down to somewhere between 5 and 10 most times when I can. But with this, you're taking, hours of footage and having to sift through it and find the good stuff, and then, debate on what you're going to keep and what you're going to cut, and, just... It's a process that, like, as long as I've been doing this, like, it's never been that intense. I've created a few videos that I've been, proud of at the time. Maybe not so much anymore. I was so excited to do that. What was it? What the fuck did I call it? Teleportal. I got to watching different people on YouTube that create, cool visual effects and show you how to do it. And I wanted to kind of learn some, not everything. Masking was important to me. Like, I don't use it a lot here, but I've used it in like a music video that I did once, which wasn't an amazing music video, but I kind of did it just because it was perfect. Somebody walked across the camera and I was like, oh, I can mask that and cut to another scene. And yeah, you don't care about all this technical jargon, I'm sure. All you care about is Star Wars and watching me burn. I don't know why Star Wars. Even without the editing, though, it's just been a slow-ass week, man. I have nothing to talk about. It's like, well, let's talk about that. Let's talk about how some weeks just, fade into another week. Like, and another week fades into another month. Like, how quickly has time passed? Have you guys felt like time passed slower or quicker during the pandemic? Let me know in the comments below. I can't even remember. That's how bad it is these days. Like, I feel like it was average time. Like, it didn't feel longer. I mean, at the beginning, it felt longer because it was a change. It was a major change where you went from, getting the kids on the bus in the morning and then going to do a little bit of work or working a few hours at the bookstore to all of a sudden being here and, like, things change, like, when you're home alone, you don't have to worry about anybody but yourself and the dog. In this case, the cats kind of take care of themselves. They feed themselves. They get up in the morning. They're like, what are we going to have for breakfast this morning, fellas? And they're like, oh, perhaps we'll have some salmon. I'd like some tuna. That's Spunky. He's a little slow. You'll have to forgive him. The fuck are we talking about? Pandemic and time passing. Occasionally I do bring this up. I know I've talked about this a lot, but time is such a relative and weird thing. Like, when you're young, you have a lifetime ahead of you with all kinds of memories to fill up between then and the end, basically. But you have so much time. And time grows and shrinks all at once as we age. We grow older and our life grows shorter. And our life grows longer. Because we put it, because each year you get a year older. That's my point. You got some explaining to do. I'm 46 thinking back to like there's landmarks in your life. Like when you turn 40, I mean, it's just a number. It's another year. I said it all along, but it's still like one of those like numbers, where you're like, when you're in your teens or when you're 20s, you're like, oh man, it's going to be suck when I'm 40. And here I am 6 years beyond that. I don't mean to complain, I'm in good shape. I'm healthy as far as I know to the best of my ability, without going to see a doctor for, many years. I'm proud of that, It takes a lot of self-control, I think, to not, well, I do have a lot of White Russians. But sugar, I've cut sugar almost completely out of my diet. I can't think of the last time I put anything with sugar in it in my mouth. Well, no, I can't remember. Good for me. Pat on the back, Jay. Hey, you know that you can do this with your dominant hand going over your shoulder, but unless you're ambidextrous, you can't do it the other way. I mean, I'm sure you could. Somebody helped you out. I can touch. Yeah. Oh, I reached. No. That's a story for another day, kids. But no one will forget the legend of Brian Reach. He's not dead. No, I did that. There's been a lot of weird references to my friend Brian lately. He was attacked by a falcon once out on a balcony in Boston. It's not a funny story. He had to get stitches, I believe. Got his scalp or I don't give a fuck. He's my friend. I probably told it on here before, as a matter of fact. But actually, I just told you the story. But the end of the story is he's finishing his cigarette out there. I mean, and he gets attacked, and one of his coworkers comes screaming at him, "It's coming around again!" I mean, was he trying? I think he was trying to kill Brian. I think that falcon was trying to knock him off of a balcony. That's what eagles do. I'm sure falcons have a similar technique. The peregrine, is that what it is? Falcon? I feel like that's another bird. The penguin falcon that dives down at 7,000 miles an hour and hits its prey, and they just explode. And then it just pecks away at the remains, and they cook too, because he's coming in at science, bitches. That's why you should always look things up, because you're all gonna walk away and tell your friends, "Holy shit, have you heard of the penguin falcon? He'll fucking explode your head and eat you, cooked, not even raw." How many other animals cook their prey? I'm sure there's got to be. Cook their prey, cook their food. I guess in that case it would be prey and predator, and prey. Predator, that was a good movie. Predator was awesome. I just watched that with the kids again recently. Oh, good Lord. Arnie, back in the day, I had a conversation with my friend Brad. We've had this conversation before, me and him, or he and other people, and I've been around to hear it, where like the worst action heroes, the absolute worst, is Steven Seagal. Now you're going, whoa. He knew karate back in the day, or whatever the fucking ninjutsu shit he knew. That dude legitimately thinks he's such a badass, and that's what just makes me not like him. I don't hate him or anything like that. I have no problem, personal issues with Steven Seagal. Don't show up at my door and kick my ass, because he could. I'm sure he could. I could probably outrun him though, so sorry. I'm sorry, Steven Seagal. I didn't mean it. Oh shit. It's Steven Seagal. No, it's not Steven Seagal. Wouldn't that be fucking the craziest thing in the world if I was talking about him? He's just kind of like a Chuck Norris thing, like Steven Seagal knows when you're talking about him. Steven Seagal, he's the worst action hero of all time because he never gets punished in his movies. He always walks away like clean as a whistle. Like he never, like, look at like Die Hard we used as an example the other night. Bruce Willis gets fucked up in that movie. He doesn't even have shoes through half of the movie. All of the movie, I don't think he really had shoes most of the time, which is a really a neat thing, looking back on that they wrote that way. Somebody was just like, no, he finds shoes that don't fit. I feel like he has shoes at some. Does he have shoes at some point? Let me know in the comments below. I'll probably just Google it as soon as I'll forget. I never remember. What are we talking about? Back to the Future. Back to the Future, I could watch over and over again. That's one of those movies that, like, if it's on, I can watch it. The second one, yeah, I can watch it. You know, it's not, you know, if there's nothing else on, I'll go to Back to the Future 2. Back to the Future 3, I haven't seen that since, well, I've probably seen it twice. Do you guys like Back to the Future? I feel like we need to square that away right away. Goonies, that's another good one. I picked that up on 4K. I think it was like $9.99 on Amazon Prime Day. It was either that or $11.99. And I don't really want a lot of physical media in my life. I don't want games and DVDs and CDs, even records for that matter. Like, I'm satisfied with the digital entertainment world and how it's been rolled out to us and how we receive it and how we, you know, I'm behind the times though. Like, I can't get into the whole earbuds thing. I've always used over the ear. Maybe it's because I have, you know, a weird skull and big ears or something. I don't know. I'm getting used to these new glasses. That's another thing too. Every now and again, all right, let's take a look at my old ones. I know they're not crazy different, but oh, look at that. Oh no, that's not dust. Carol fucked them up when she was trying to bend them. So I don't know if you can tell, but I mean, the lenses themselves, I think, are a little bit bigger in these. Trying to do stuff in a camera that's like flipped. I don't even know if it's flipped. Is it flipped? Tell me now, God damn it. Am I flipped? Did I flip? I flipped off an eagle once. Oh, here's a good story about flipping people off. When I see animals on the side of the road, you know, like cows or horses, maybe a stray dog, I like to flip them off. I don't know why. It's just funny to me. Like, I love animals. I'm not being an asshole. They don't know why I'm extending my middle finger. There's no notion as to what that means. Anywho, they probably don't even know that I'm doing it. They don't even look at me. They don't give a fuck. So through the process of all my ramblings, I don't know how we got in Back to the Future or Gremlins or any of those movies we were talking about. I forgot to tell you the story, and I think it's worth telling because I think it's funny. I flip off animals, blah, 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 blah. Well, we were going up the road one day, and there's a deer in my neighbor's yard. And, of course, I roll down the window. I think I rolled down the window. I can't remember. I hauled off, just full out. I think I extended the full Corey Smith extension, Corey Willette Smith, sorry, and gave it to the deer. Little did I know, on the steps next door was my neighbor sitting there, and the way it was lined up clearly looked like I could have been flipping them off. And I had this look of shock come over my face. I think they understood. I was like, no. And that's my story. And so my neighbor, I think they think that I flipped them off, but it was the deer. Okay, back to me. I probably could have just not said anything. You wouldn't even have known. Although the camera probably shifts and does something like this real quick. All right, really back to me. They see cars every day going by, zipping by. If we were all in smart cars that just drove us around, perfectly armored on all sides, we wouldn't design cars to look the way they do now. Yes, there might be a steering wheel. Most likely, there's no need for one, though. There's probably like some kind of sensor control where you can just, I don't know. I haven't really looked into the technology yet. What I'm saying is if I were the one designing the car of tomorrow, the one that drives us where we want to go, when we want to go, how we want to get there, it charges on the road because the roads have been rebuilt to support this infrastructure. And we can just go for days without stopping if we don't want to. Imagine that. Like, ideally, the upper half, maybe even the whole thing, but the upper half and top are all LED screens so that you can use cameras from the outside to broadcast 8K broadcast into the not broadcast, you'd just be going directly feeding it into the monitors. So you could have the sensation of driving. You could design your car. They should be a luxury model, and then there should be like a family model and like a utility model. Then you have the insides are different. You could have your traditional vehicle that maybe has some kind of new, transforming technology. So it's more like a van in the sense. All of these I'm seeing in my head is a van. Like none of these are smaller than like 20 by 8 by 8. Nice and rounded on the outside. They got to be nice and aerodynamic. The air comes off them. I know a lot of people would be really against that. People like I understand, and I totally understand like loving a car or something like that. I don't. I'm not a huge fan of cars. I mean, just make sure it goes and I'll get there. I don't care as long as it's clean inside and comfortable. Like comfort is my main factor. Visibility, that's important too. But when you don't have to drive anymore, you could just have a little living room, you know what I mean? Or an office. You could work in your car on the way to the office. That's not a good, let's take that back. You could play video games or watch a movie on the way to the office or whatever. Lunch break, you go out to your little room. It's no longer your car. It's like you could cook in there if you wanted to. There's a little kitchen. Did you know that? The family edition model has a little kitchen. It's got a microwave, it's got an oven, and it's got a stovetop. It's got a sink with running water. It's the water is collected from the top of the vehicle from rain. It's purified in this separate tank. Yeah, I didn't tell you about that either. And then it comes right out. So unless you have a drought, you're never in bad shape for water. That's pretty smart. I'm smart. I don't know how to make all that stuff, but I can get the idea. See, I need a job where I just sit around and we spitball all day. I'm like, what about this? And I hit him with that. And they're like, God damn, this man is a fucking genius. Make him the CEO. And then I become the CEO. And then I give everybody money and we're all happy and there's no more racists. I always have preferred cats over dogs. In case you're wondering. Anywho, get the fuck out of here. Look at this. 17-minute runtime? How am I going to get this down to a reasonable time? Cutting shit like this out. Stopping rambling. Stop drinking water and doing stupid intros. Me. Anywho, if you guys are loving watching these as much as I'm loving making them, please consider liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing, and hit the little bell icon. It'll let you know every time I put out a new video. Don't forget to make somebody smile today and take care of each other out there. I'm Jason Oliveira, and I'll catch you guys in the next episode of the Vodkast podcast. Take care, and boy howdy.